Well, 21 days since the power surge, which has cost us a fucking fortune. And today I'm going to keg the power surge APA. So at the moment what I've done is chucked a load of star sand in here, turned it upside down 5 minutes, back over this way 5 minutes, everything in contact with star sand, clean. Chucked some CO2 in this side, and then I've transferred the star sand from the out to the out, so dip tube up and then down the dip tube. So this is now totally sanitized, and that is where I will now store the star sand until next use. Next, probably can't see very well, but there's a big fog in there, and that's CO2, so there's no oxygen in here. I've got it on the scales, and I don't know how to pronounce that, tared it to 0, because I know a corny keg weighs 4.2 kilos, but tarring it gives me an idea of exactly how much I'm going to get in there. So I can take this out, remembering that there's a layer of CO2 on top of here. The only oxygen we're going to get is kind of like in this tube coming out, so this is going to be as close as possible without using a closed system to an oxygen free transfer, and I'm hoping to get a good 19 litres out of there. Looking good so far. We've got a flow. Right, oops, there we are. So that's 1 litre. I'm not going to wait for the other 18, I'm going to pause it. $18.45, well, that's okay as far as it goes. After sort of pulling off, oh, fuck me, you one-handed pillock. After pulling off odd little bits before pouring, that'll probably give us 36 pints, almost, nearly. Make sure that's on properly. Yeah, right. So, 36 pints, we'll do with that. Next, oh, blimey. We need to give this, turn it around the right way. Remember, on corner kegs, the post with the notch is where you pump the gas in. So, back to the gas. Open, pop some gas in, and then that's getting rid of all the oxygen from the top of the tank. That there shouldn't be much because it was already filled full of CO2, but a bit of a burp never hurts. Turn the gas off, don't want to come back to an empty tank. So that's now ready for what's called conditioning. I can't remember, I need to kind of try and work out how long to condition it, probably about 4, 5, 6 weeks at about 12 degrees I suppose. So that's okay. Let's have a look at what we've got left in thing. Turn that off. Yeah, shit, here's what we've got left in thing. Good job, nothing there really worth trying to salvage, which is just as well. That's off. I have on a couple of occasions drained some of the trub off the bottom. That's the ice maker. Right, so I'll get that labelled up and then into one of the conditioning fridges, and then I suppose I better start cleaning that. God, dear. It's been a strange time since that power surge. Not left me in the best of mental conditions, I'll tell you. It's just been one thing after another. Not only that, we've also had having to deal with COVID-19, and it seems like my colleagues are kind of all falling over left, right and centre. I've been very busy trying to prop them up, and I think I've quite possibly neglected to prop myself up. But you know, I'm not dangling from a rope or swimming the canal with a lead weight around my neck, so that's always a good sign. But realistically, and I don't want to overstate this, COVID-19 and the financial crisis that goes with it, and the social isolation and the loneliness and the boredom and all that, is going to create a new pandemic, a mental health pandemic. And we need to plan for that in exactly the same way as we've planned for COVID-19. We need to plan for that in exactly the same way as we've planned for in the past for nuclear attack. And I don't mean taking some doors off the hinges, putting them up against the wall and putting sandbags on top of them. That's not a means of planning, that is a means of prolonging the inevitable. What we need to do now is to be active, proactive, urgently proactive in terms of providing support structures for what will be a pandemic of mental health issues. So yeah, I need to get myself fit. I need to get myself banging some stuff on Made by Martin to get some money in so we can hire in some professional help and also provide some decent support structures. Right, that's the beer kegged anyway. Power Surge IPA, kegged on, is it the 12th today? I don't even know what day it is. Well, according to my watch, it's only the 11th. That's the other thing with this complete distraction from our normal. When you're distracted from your normal, the abnormal becomes normal. Oh, how deep was that, boys and girls? Anyway, we're kegged. Yeah, and this is what was left over. Give it a flush out and then give it a good old scrub out. Ready for next time. I was going to do a brew this weekend, but you know, I am absolutely fucking shattered. And just the thought of having to concentrate on even the simplest thing like boiling up some fucking grain just doesn't... It's not there for me. It's not there. I need to rest, lick my wounds and stuff now. Oh. Oh, I managed to do that without chucking the fermenter in. That's always a good sign, boys and girls. Right. Now that apparently is good for the local biodiversity. You could have fucking fooled me. But I suppose the grain goes in, so the aftermath can go in as well. Alright, I'm going to get my arm in there now and scrub the... Do you ever used to get something like that around the edge of the bath? You probably don't if you're young. But when I was a kid, you only had a bath once a week. You'd have a cat lick, you know, sort of like a wash at the sink, but you'd only have a bath once a week. And when I was right young, it were a case that whole family would share same bath water. Isn't that awful? I think my mum would go first, then me, then my sister, then my dad. Poor old thing. Oh look, we've got a squashed kumquat down there. That's a shame, that's a waste. Anyway, yeah, so that was the tide line around the bath. And it would be probably just probably about like that as well. Really grubby. You try telling that to kids of today, they'll not believe you. Right, I'm going to get that scrubbed, and then I'm going to have a day of rest, recuperation, and get a couple of young fit blondes around. One of those isn't true. I think this video will be all over the place. Look at this for an evening. God, stunning. So it's now the, what is it, the 12th? I don't know, kind of lose track. I just had even though it's only been in keg just over a day, I just had a taste of that, what I'm calling the Power Surge APA, and yeah, I think it's going to be all right. Mosaic, Simcoe, and what was it, Amarillo, I think. Anyway, this is the Bohemian Pilsner, which I did a couple of months ago now, and I think that is now, I don't know how to get, there you go. Whoa, I'm quite pleased with that. Very, very basic Bohemian Pilsner malt from Wyoming, whatever it is, and Saz hops, and Bohemian Pilsner, was it Y yeast? I think it was. Anyway, cheers. Oh. Now, thing that a lot of people, I think, make a mistake these days is we very easily get hooked into things like New England IPAs, super heavily hopped, bonkersly heavily hopped, and I like those. I do like those. My last three, named in order, another NEPA, because I'm really creative that way, and then the Tinipa, the Timmy inspired New England IPA, and then the Lowell NEPA, the Lauren New England IPA with the Conan yeast. They are all coming on very, very nicely. I don't generally tend to bang into a keg until I've let it mature condition. This year especially so, because all the brewing I've been doing isn't going to be taken up with parties this year. This year it's all going to be me. You never know, things might change towards the end of the year, but as far as it goes, so far this year I have managed to drink 5 kegs to myself. And I'm sorry, I just did that on camera, didn't I? Well, yeah. Cheers. 6 kegs just to myself. Loads and loads of bottles from upstairs, which I'm gonna give away, but I don't know of a way of giving them away just yet. In a way, what I want to do is give them away in exchange for a pledge to go and buy something at either St Mars of the Desert Tap Room, or Dorothy Pack's down at Victoria Quays, Cole's Corner, Bar Stewards, or the Brew Shed in Retford. I know that sounds weird, doesn't it? Well, I'm stood here on Sheffield Canal suggesting people go and buy something from a bar in Retford, but that's where we were going last trip in that boat. We were going to Retford, and unfortunately this little virus thingy got in the way, and were it not for the fact that I do work for a certain Public Health England, and got an early nod that there was going to be a lockdown, we managed to turn around and get back to Sheffield just in time. Otherwise we'd have been fucking stranded in the middle of nowhere. Or Doncaster, which I don't mind. Actually, I quite like Doncaster. God, I'm really rabbiting on, aren't I? So yes, I'm going to do another one of another similar one of those West Coast style APAs, because it's not overly massively hopped, and it's a sort of it's a different feel to the Neepers. And I'm going to do some more. You could call this a smash, really, couldn't you? Single malt and single hop, as it's mainly it's just Bohemian Pilsner malt and Saz hops. But crikey, that's a beautiful brew. Anyway, this is summer, on a summer evening on Sheffield Canal, with all life's ups and downs. May all your ups and downs be between the sheets, or in the bushes, or wherever. Right. Happy what's left of the weekend, guys.